Hey, Tim, before we start, man, I just want to say glory to God, man, for this win and for all the blessings of people in our building, the fans. Just want to get that out there, man. Wish the fans could have been there tonight all the way through the season. This is for you guys, man, and just real proud of everyone in the organization, coaches, players, staff. Great team effort, man, all the way through this so far. A lot more football yet to be played, but just wanted to say that, man. Glory to God.
Sean, I know it's a lot to digest so soon after a game, but with the ebbs and flows of that, what do you feel right now proudest about emerging with that victory?
Yeah, the one thing I think that sticks out right away, Tim, is the last drive by our offensive line and backs and tight ends. That's a big time drive. 7 minutes to go, I think, in the game, roughly 7 minutes to go, and to not give them the ball back when we were pretty much one dimensional because of the situation in the game, I thought was very impressive.
That's a way to obviously utilize your run game too, even though it hasn't necessarily been productive for you on a game-to-game basis, and it's a frustration that you've had. What are you able to draw out of that aspect of it in terms of, for lack of a better phrase, something to hang your hat on as that part of the game contributing when it's probably been frustrating for the guys who haven't been able to get that done?
I think we've shown that we can do it at different times throughout the season. But like everything else, everything is a work in progress. We're not, there was moments in tonight's game where we turned the ball over. There was moments in tonight's game where, they got yards on us and where we hurt ourselves on special teams as well as some penalties. So there's a lot. We weren't perfect tonight, so there's a lot of work yet to be done.
And last one really quickly, there was a fumble. Ben Roethlisberger was called forward motion or forward progress. It seemed as though it was a pretty clean fumble. Did you have a chance? Did it happen too quickly? We didn't really see any kind of reaction shot of you on the sideline or how.
Yeah, you can't. So you can't challenge. The rule is you can't challenge when they rule forward progress. So the ruling that I was told was it was ruled forward progress and that I couldn't challenge it.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, congrats on the win. Stefon Diggs was so good tonight. I mean, he's been so good all season. What do you make of his performance and what he meant to you guys as he kind of got things going for the offense?
Yeah, I mean, I thought there was a good adjustments made at halftime in all three phases. Good communication leading into halftime. Taron Johnson's play before halftime while I'm on it, I think was a big momentum swing in the game. But the adjustments that were made at halftime and then to go out there and have an opening third quarter drive like we did, I thought was how we want to play. It was up to our standard. Before that, it really wasn't up to our standard.
And from a personal perspective, Stefon said tonight he's got players and coaches that believe in him and trust him. How have you been able to cultivate that relationship and make him feel that in this kind of funny year?
Well, I think with all of our players, we just try and do the best we can, like you mentioned. Be genuine, be authentic. We've got good people, and it's not just me. We got good people in our building, and not just players and coaches. We got good staff. I mean, so I think the environment, we try and build is one where people can be themselves and love each other, and when you do that, good things happen.
Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean, congrats on the win. You just mentioned Taron's pick six in the first half. Can you kind of expand a little bit on just, how much of a momentum swing and how much of a spark was that for you guys going into halftime there?
Yeah, that was big. I thought our defense was playing well up to that point, but, Ben is Ben, and he's seen a lot of defenses, and he has not turned the ball over a lot this year, and he's hard to get to when you rush him. And so I thought that was a pivotal moment in the game. And, and then also knowing that we were going to get the ball after half, right, and went back and got another 7 after half there was big as well.
What does it say about this offense, the fact that when it's not playing up to the level that you would want, especially in that first half there, the fact that Josh can come out in the second and come out firing in that third quarter and get it done. Just what does that say about this offense? The fact that even with the struggles that, you guys can get it done.
Yeah, I think, there's no, it's, you want to come out and get into a rhythm right away. That's would be nice. We didn't have that rhythm tonight early on in the game, but I think that's a sign of a good team where you don't have your game early on, but you find it, and adjustments are made at halftime or before halftime, and that's why that communication between players and coaches to coaches is so important during the game, and then also at halftime, so we can put ourselves in better position and get into a rhythm like we did in the second half there.
And lastly, for me, you mentioned that communication, talking to Stefon and Josh. Stefon said that, during the game, he goes up to Josh and kind of checks on him, even when things aren't going the way that you would want it to. Just how big is that to see that player-to-player communication and that player-driven leadership in moments of struggle during the game?
Yeah, the player-driven leadership is huge, as you've heard me talk about before, Heather. In any locker room, you got to have that. You got to have that. It's critical in good times and bad times. You got to have the player-driven leadership, and because the boat's going to rock once in a while, and they got to obviously stabilize it on their own because that locker room is so important. And so going back to your question, I just think that the communication, whether it's Diggs or Cole, Gabe, Smoke, anyone, our tight ends, they've got good rapport during the week, and then also carries forward to the games. And I think that's important because you don't want to hold something back to where you get back in the film room on Monday, you say, I wish I would have said that. That's not healthy. And so, and sometimes those conversations aren't easy. They're tough conversations, but they're important to be had.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, it's Kim Jones. I know there's tape to watch, but I think any of us who've watched the Steelers play have seen TJ Watt wreck games. Do you have a sense of how well Darrell Williams played tonight before? I know there's tape to watch, but do you have a sense of that?
Yeah, in that context, I would say I thought he really did a phenomenal job, Kim. That's not an easy matchup for any tackle in the league, and we have a lot of respect for TJ and how he plays and how his motor runs hot all the time. And I thought Darrell, did a really good job. Again, within the context of having to watch the film.
And my second question, if I may, and I appreciate it, Sean, you went back to Zach Moss and needed him, it seemed, as you bled that clock at the end, 6 days after he spent a lot of time on the sideline for that game. And you asked, maybe rhetorically, you mentioned to us, how does he reset? Did today tell you anything about Zach Moss and resetting? Huge,
man. That's so important. Mistakes are going to happen, and all I care about, all his teammates care about, is that he can reset as quickly as possible. I mean, that's being a team player, and I thought he did a phenomenal job of that. To your point tonight.
Appreciate it, Sean. Congrats.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach, just piggybacking off the angle that Kim was taking with her question, Taron Johnson is a guy that was replaced in the lineup in Week 6 against the Chiefs. He had a second chance and an opportunity to redeem himself. I know he had the giant play tonight, but just all the things that he has been asked to do and the way he's been able to kind of redeem himself with his play over the last 6 or 7 weeks, if you could just comment on that.
Yeah, I think it's a great example, Chris, of perseverance and him being resilient. And then the coaches, Taron, just doing a great job of developing him and getting him to a place where he's comfortable and clear on what's expected and how it's supposed to look. And I think he's playing really confident football right now.
And then just a quick follow on that. It's more than just that interception return for him. I mean, you're asking him to kind of fill in the run game, blitz, just the different hats that he's had to wear for you and the way that he's kind of come through in those areas.
Yeah, and I would say, with Tremaine and AJ and Matt, they're those guys along with Taron are kind of on a string. They do a lot together, and that rapport that's been building is good for us as well. So really, really proud of that group.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach, Paul Stockman, News 4. Just had a quick question, very similar to what Heather and Chris were asking about Taron Johnson. Just how much did that interception change really the attitude of the team? Because it seemed like there was some sluggish, the offense was sluggish at times. Did you see a demeanor change at all with a play like that, with the team going into halftime?
Yeah, again, I thought it was a pivotal moment in the game. We had not scored on defense this year yet, and so, to my knowledge, and so it was good to, again, big time moment in the game, shift in momentum. As I said earlier, they're driving before half a little bit there, and then we were getting the ball after half as well. So I think the other drive that maybe goes unrecognized a little bit is that they get the ball right back with maybe 50-some seconds to go, 2 timeouts roughly, if my memory is correct, and we stopped them again. In terms of them letting the clock run out there on what would have been a 3rd and 5, I believe 3rd and 6. So that's hard to do against a quarterback like Ben Roethlisberger.
And when I was talking with Levi Wallace earlier, he said that your big thing is complementary football. To see that come to fruition, especially in a game like this where it really seemed like nothing was working, and then all of a sudden everything was working, really on the crux of one play. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it is. It's complementary football. The guys, we weren't hitting on all cylinders offensively in the first half, and and then to come out, the defense to hold their own, and then to come out in the second half, offense to get going. I think defense had another 3 and out. We went right back at them again, and I think got some points again. So, and special teams had a hand in that also. So we were covering kicks, covering punts. Rary's a good returner. I think he's had success this year in a variety of ways with the ball in his hand. So I thought we did a really good job in all 3 phases, to your point.
Thanks, Coach.